The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, commonly known as HUD, is at the forefront of fostering strong, sustainable, inclusive communities and quality affordable homes with their many federal programs. The HUD program's Consolidated Plan is a required planning document that the state and county must develop to receive HUD funding. This 5-year plan outlines how these funds will be used to address the housing and related needs of our community, particularly for very low, and moderate income families in a way that improves the availability and affordability of decent, safe, and sanitary housing within a suitable living environment. The 2025 to 2029 Consolidated Plan includes the following programs. Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, is an annual allocation to Hawaii County of approximately $2.6 million. Home Investment Partnerships Program, or HOME, is an allocation through the State of Hawaii Housing and Finance Development Corporation, or HHFDC, and distributed on a 3-year rotation between Kauai, Maui, and Hawaii counties. Funding is approximately $3 million. National Housing Trust Fund, or HTF, is also an allocation through the state HHFDC of approximately $3 million and is distributed on a 3-year rotation between the 3 counties. Emergency Solutions Grant, or ESG, is a direct allocation to Hawaii County of approximately $200,000. And lastly, Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, or HOPWA, is an allocation to the state HHFDC of approximately $1 million. In each of the 5 years, the state and county are required to develop and submit an annual action plan that details eligible project activities that will be undertaken in the coming year. It's a crucial component in ensuring that the 5-year goals and objectives outlined in the Consolidated Plan are met effectively and transparently. The county awards federal funds through a request for proposal process to eligible government, nonprofit, and private entities. Proposed projects are reviewed for federal program compliance, selected for award, and incorporated in the annual action plan for their ability to meet the 5-year Consolidated Plan goals. A vital part of the process is citizen participation. HUD emphasizes the importance of involving residents and stakeholders in the process, including public hearings to gather input on the community's needs and feedback on the past performance of the programs. A 30-day review and comment period on the CON plan, action plan, and any substantial amendments. Public meetings to approve the submittal of the CON plan and action plan to HUD. And public notices on the approval, revisions, and submittal of the final and amended plans to HUD. Based on community feedback and surveys, high priorities have been established and incorporated in our 2025 to 2029 Consolidated Plan. Project proposals for the allocation of future CDBG, HOME, HTF, and ESG funds must meet one of the high priorities, which include housing, specifically for low-income households. It includes rental, homeownership, senior housing, and special needs housing. It also includes activities that will lead to the development of housing, such as planning, design, and environmental activities. Public facilities, activities to improve, repair, or construct public facilities such as those for childcare, seniors, individuals with disabilities, homeless persons, health facilities, parks, gyms, and other recreational facilities. Infrastructure, activities in support of the development of affordable housing such as water, sewer, street improvements, solid waste disposal, or flood drainage improvements. Federal mandates, activities to meet legal obligations of federal mandates such as the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, and EPA-mandated cesspool closures. Homeless prevention and services, activities that provide shelter, outreach services, operational costs, and housing services to persons experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness. Public services, new services, or a quantifiable increase in existing services for seniors, persons with disabilities, youth, child care, transportation, substance abuse, employment, health, loan programs, and crime prevention. Economic development, activities that create or retain jobs for low and moderate income persons. And lastly, disaster relief activities that prevent, prepare for, or respond to disaster-related events such as flooding, hurricanes, tsunamis, lava flow, or infectious diseases.
Low priorities include public facilities such as park facilities and non-residential historic preservation, and non-housing infrastructure such as sidewalks. Understanding HUD's various funding programs and their objectives helps to see how they're crucial in addressing the needs and priorities of our community and how they fit into the broader consolidated plan. We will begin with an in-depth review with the CDBG and ESG programs as they relate to this year's request for proposals. Then, we will provide a general overview of the other federal programs administered by the county.
The CDBG program funds are a direct allocation to Hawaii County and aims to provide decent housing, suitable living environments, and expand economic opportunities, primarily for low and moderate income persons at or below 80% of the area median income, or AMI. Hawaii County's CDBG allocation is approximately $2.6 million annually, subject to change based on a formula, as well as congressional appropriations. Eligible activities for the CDBG program include, but are not limited to, acquisition, construction, and rehabilitation of public facilities, acquisition or disposition of real property, economic development activities, public service activities, which is capped at 15% of the total grant amount, rehabilitation loan programs for homeowners, homeowner assistance, infrastructure in support of affordable housing, payment of non-federal share, similar to matching, planning and administration. Ineligible activities include, but are not limited to, buildings used for the general conduct of government, general government expenses, political activities, purchase of equipment, operating, repair and maintenance expenses, new housing construction except in limited circumstances, and income payments for housing. A key requirement of the CDBG program requires that your project meet one of the three national objectives. 1. To principally benefit low and moderate income persons or households at or below 80% of the area median income. 70% of the total CDBG funds must meet this objective. 2. To aid in the prevention or elimination of slums and blight. Or 3. To meet other community development needs having a particular urgency, such as during a declared disaster. The low and moderate income national objective can be achieved by area benefit, when an activity services or benefits a specific area where 51% or more of the residents are identified as low and moderate income by the U.S. Census Bureau and HUD. These areas are typically designated by census tracts or block groups. Or limited clientele, an activity where at least 51% of the beneficiaries are low and moderate income, at or below 80% of the area median income. There are specific populations that HUD presumes to be low and moderate income persons, including abused children, elderly persons, victims of domestic violence, homeless persons, severely disabled adults, illiterate adults, persons living with AIDS, and migrant farm workers. The low and moderate income objective can also be met with documentation on family size and income showing that 51% or more of the beneficiaries meet the income requirements. Additionally, CDBG funding for low and moderate income housing activities must document at least 51% of the occupants meet the income requirements. These are the current HUD income limits effective June 1, 2025 and are based on family size. In 2024, HUD released updated low and moderate income area data based on the 2020 census. The shaded areas on the map represent areas where at least 51% of the population meets HUD's low and moderate income criteria. Several other areas are close to meeting this threshold and may become eligible with further analysis. To support these communities, the county is planning to conduct additional HUD-approved studies that could help verify and document qualifying income levels, enabling more areas to meet the 51% requirement. To see if your project is within or serves a low and moderate income area, please contact the Office of Housing and Community Development for assistance. If you are interested in applying for CDBG funds, the county will review your proposal to ensure it meets the basic project thresholds. First, you must be an eligible applicant, specifically a nonprofit or government entity with a Federal Unique Entity Identifier, or UEI, and be registered in the System for Award Management, or SAM.gov, in good standing. Your project must also fall under one of the eligible activities previously covered. It must also meet one of the Consolidated Plan goals and priorities. It must be implemented and completed within 12 months from start to finish. You must provide a relocation plan if your project causes the displacement of any residents. Your project must meet environmental compliance requirements. You must have site control of the property. And lastly, your project must have sufficient funding. When reviewing proposals, we look at how well a project aligns with community needs and its potential for success. Higher priority is given to projects that address the most urgent needs, and there's a multiplying factor in the scoring for demonstrated need. We also consider the expected outcomes, how many people will benefit, and any environmental impacts. Timelines, site suitability, and any additional factors that could influence the project's success are all taken into account. Financial readiness is critical, so we assess whether sufficient funding is in place. Finally, we evaluate the applicant's capacity and experience to complete the project successfully. A scoring chart can be found in the CDBG Proposal Guide. When utilizing CDBG funds, it's essential to remember that there are many federal laws you must follow. Pay particular attention to the following laws when putting together your project proposal and check for applicability. First, the Davis-Bacon and related acts require that any construction project of $2,000 or more pay workers the federal prevailing wage. Next, 2 CFR Part 200, known as the Uniform Administrative Requirements, Cost Principles, and Audit Requirements for Federal Awards, sets the rules for accounting, procurement, contracting, and audits for your project. Finally, if your project involves acquiring, rehabilitating, or demolishing property that displaces people or businesses, you must comply with the Uniform Relocation and Acquisition Act, or URA. Moving on to other federal programs administered by the county. The Emergency Solutions Grant Program, or ESG, is typically awarded to the State of Hawaii Homeless Programs Office and distributed to the neighbor island counties. But in program year 2024, it was offered as a direct allocation to Hawaii County with the potential for future direct allocations. ESG funds focuses on programs and services for individuals and families who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. Future allocations to Hawaii County are anticipated to be approximately $200,000 annually.
Let's take a closer look at the activities eligible for funding through the Emergency Solutions Grant under 24 CFR Part 576. There are 4 main categories of eligible activities: emergency shelter operations. This includes services like case management, facility-related costs, and essential services to support individuals experiencing homelessness. Street outreach services. These services focus on reaching unsheltered individuals where they are and connecting them to housing resources and critical support. Rapid rehousing services. These provide short to medium-term rental assistance and housing relocation support, helping individuals and families exit homelessness quickly and stabilize in permanent housing. Homelessness prevention services. These are targeted at helping individuals and families who are at risk of homelessness to remain stably housed through financial assistance and support services. And finally, important funding guidelines to remember include: 1. Funds used for emergency shelter operations and street outreach services may not exceed 60% of the total ESG allocation. 2. Subrecipients must match 100% of the ESG funds awarded. 3. County's coordination with the local continuum of care to define needs and priorities. 4. Subrecipients must participate in and report to the local homeless management information system. 5. All recipients must expend funds within 24 months of the date our HUD agreement is signed. And 6. All recipients must comply with federal fair housing laws. These guidelines support both strong program performance and equitable outcomes across our community. Refer directly to 24 CFR Part 576 for additional key laws and regulations pertaining to the use of ESG funds and for detailed guidance.
The HOME program is an allocation through the State of Hawaii, Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation, or HHFDC, and helps to expand the supply of decent and affordable housing for low and very low-income families at or below 60% of the AMI. These funds are allocated to Hawaii County on a 3-year rotation with Kauai and Maui counties. Hawaii County's next allocation will be in program year 2027, and the average allocation is approximately $3 million. Eligible activities include, but are not limited to, construction of affordable permanent and transitional housing, rehabilitation of affordable housing, tenant-based rental assistance, and down payment assistance program. The HTF program is also allocated through HHFDC on a 3-year rotation and focuses on affordable rental housing for extremely low-income families at or below 30% of the AMI. Hawaii County's next allocation will be in program year 2027, and the average allocation is approximately $3 million. Eligible activities include, but are not limited to, construction of affordable rental housing and rehabilitation and preservation of affordable housing. These programs offered by HUD play a vital role in strengthening communities by providing affordable housing, supporting neighborhood development, and ensuring access to safe and decent living environments. These initiatives help individuals and families achieve housing security, stimulate economic growth, improve public health, and create more equitable, vibrant communities. Together, we can build a stronger, more resilient community. For more information, visit our website or contact our office directly.